Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 4. Before we get started, I just wanted to say that today's episode is dedicated to Nazzul. He's the viewer behind, well, we'll be meeting his character soon enough. Anyway, thanks for your support, Naz. As usual, I'll at least try to keep you alive. Mark's funeral was a quiet, dismal affair. I suppose it was just as well. Apparently the jester had been caught in some sort of explosion, so there really wasn't much left for us to actually bury. Carol said a few words over his grave, and Carl stood a silent vigil until she was done talking. The caretaker was there too, but honestly, the less said about him, the better. There was no sign of the King's Rook. I later found out that he was bellied up to the bar, getting as drunk as humanly possible. Maybe he was just trying to cope with Mark's death in his own way, or maybe he just didn't care. I'll admit, losing both Mark and Diminara had shaken me, but I told myself if I walked away now, it would mean that all this death had been for nothing. Where some might have been discouraged, I instead threw myself into my work with renewed fervor, anything to distract me from the blood that was staining my hands. First, I checked up on Stjepan. He had apparently been released from the sanitarium, but he was going to need a few more days of quiet contemplation before he had fully recovered. Despite the death and madness surrounding our little hamlet, there seemed to be no shortage of new arrivals, so I also spent some time and excess gold constructing additional living quarters. Just in time, too, as a new wagon arrived later that week, packed to overflowing with an exotic assortment of eager new champions. There were 4 new arrivals in total. Well, 5 if you counted the dog. Their leader seemed to be a passionate, bloody man named Nazzul, who loudly proclaimed that he had come to end our suffering by taking it upon himself. His companions, though quieter, were no less peculiar. Luzon's right-hand man was a towering hulk named Alistair Gardwin. He must have been an unstoppable warrior once, but now wore the distinctive mask and shroud of a leper. Anuchit was perhaps the most normal of the newcomers, a former warden who had simply walked away from his old life, taking his faithful canine companion with him. He was a bit quiet, but seemed friendly enough, and he certainly seemed more approachable than his more zealous associates. The last of the new arrivals seemed to be a loner, a small, frail-looking man covered in ghastly scars. He rode on the back of the wagon, though I wasn't sure if it was by their choice or his own. He offered no introduction, simply shuffling off into the village, his heavy chains dragging in the dirt behind him. I showed the others around the hamlet, for a time, with our tour predictably coming to an end at the abbey. There, Luzon engaged in animated discussion with the old priest, and before long, the flagellant had come to me with a new proposal. Although we had already put some resources towards rebuilding the old abbey, Luzon insisted on helping with our efforts. He and his companions were prepared to leave at once, to track down some of the many relics that had apparently been lost or plundered when the hamlet had originally fallen. While I wasn't eager to send more men off to their deaths, Luzon, Alistair, and Anuchit seemed quite adamant about proving their worth. I reluctantly agreed to their proposal, but insisted on sending along one of my other recruits as well, Purge, our insatiably curious academic. Luzon seemed displeased with my suggestion, but he stopped short of openly refusing my request. That was fine. He didn't need to be happy with my decision. All that really mattered was that with Purge accompanying them, it was all the more likely that they might actually come back alive.
There is power in symbols. Collect the scattered scraps of faith and give comfort to the masses.
Welcome back. Today we're headed into our first medium-length dungeon crawl. Once again, we're using a party full of rank 0 rookies, so we'll try to play things as safe as possible, but of course we're working with a lot of unknown factors here. I guess we'll just have to see how it goes.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Okay, they're starting us off with a medium difficulty battle, but we have the advantage of surprise. Let's start off by having Purge try to pull one of their casters to the front of their party. Nice. Now let's see what Luzon can do. I've never really used a flagellant before, but they seem pretty heavily focused on bleed damage. Bleeding is useless against undead, of course, but it should make it a lot easier to deal with the cultists and bandits. And of course, Alistair is just geared towards dealing out massive damage. He should be able to take care of anything we can't bleed to death.
Begone, fiend! A death by inches.
Okay, so far so good. We don't need healing, so let's pull that courtier up front. The brawler will drop dead on his next action. I've currently got Anuchit set up as kind of a hybrid healer. He can heal himself for a decent amount, and he can reduce stress across the entire party, but we'll focus on taking out that courtier for now.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter. This expedition at least promises success.
Alright, looks like we're off to a good start. So today our goal is to collect 3 holy relics. Normally I'm not a fan of object recovery missions like this one, but that's just because the objects take up space in our inventory, which of course means we end up with less room for loot. Hold on a second. It's been a while, but I think I need to use holy water with this statue. There we go. Now Alistair is even deadlier than normal. We've also got a trap up ahead, so... Okay, looks like our Houndmaster can take care of that. Nice. At any rate, I'm hoping we'll luck out and find the 3 holy relics early on. Then we can cut and run early if we really have to. Looks like we should probably head right first. We'll explore the rooms in this little offshoot passage. Then we'll evaluate our condition once we get back to the fork here.
Mechanical hazards, possessed by evil intent.
Anuchit took a bit of a hit there, but we'll have him eat that food we just found. We do want to save a decent amount of supplies in case we decide to set up camp, but we can already see that there's a fight ahead of us. We want our guys ready for it. Oh, there's another angel statue. We'll have Luzon use this one. It'll be a shame when we have to give up these damage boosts. We'll try to put off camping as long as possible. Okay, looks like a fairly simple fight, and we've got the advantage of surprise. We should be able to kill most of these guys before they can even take an action.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all. Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
And of course, the one remaining enemy gets a critical hit. That's Darkest Dungeon for you. Luzon's already getting a bit beat up and stressed out. He's got a couple of healing abilities, but they're very situational. They can theoretically inflict a pretty significant amount of healing, but they also come with some pretty hefty side effects. For now, we'll just focus on finishing the fight.
Back to the pit. Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Okay. Nazzul took a nasty hit, but otherwise that wasn't too bad. Let's keep moving. Looks like another fairly simple fight. Oof. I'm tempted to have Anuk start tossing out stress heals, but we should probably stay focused on offense for now.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
I've got to say, the fact that Anuk and Nazzul can reach the back rows so easily is pretty great. And Alistair pretty much mulches anything in the front rows.
Another one falls. Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
We're already out of room for loot. That means we have to play the inventory management game for the rest of the crawl. Looks like the north side's clear. Let's go check the south path. There's an Iron Maiden. We need... Oh, never mind. I guess Purge has got this.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Okay, I think the first thing we're going to dump are these dog treats. I know they can be potentially useful, but I usually end up ignoring them. Of course, if there are any of you who swear by dog treats and think I'm wasting them, let me know in the comments. I'll certainly take it under consideration in the future. Hunger just procced. That gives us a bit of healing and some much-needed inventory space. Just in time, too. There's our first holy relic. Just 2 more to go. Let's head back to the fork and check out the other side of the dungeon. If we're lucky, we might actually find our second relic in the room right ahead of us. Though we'll have to deal with those enemies in the hallway first.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
Purge has gotten lucky with his curiosity so far, but we're definitely going to have to remove that quirk. We can't really afford to have heroes who just randomly trigger objects on their own.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Okay, this looks like another relatively... Uh-oh. Luzon's stress levels are getting way too high here. I think we need Anuk to start tossing out stress heals. And of course, it didn't affect Luzon. Alright, let's pull the courtier to the front. Or not. That's fine. We'll take these guys out, then we'll go set up camp.
vision. The end approaches.
Well, so much for setting up camp. I don't think I've ever seen the Rapturous Affliction. Maybe that's something unique to the Flagellant. Okay, I think we've got the brawlers under control. Let's toss out some heals. And of course Luzon is refusing to cooperate. Alright, we'll just pull the courtier instead.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Alistair, if you wouldn't mind.
Executed with impunity. Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
We'll equip the trinket so we don't have to clear inventory space for it, and we'll dump the gold for now. Luzon's also in pretty bad shape, but now that he's afflicted, we can't run the risk of camping. He'll just end up stressing everyone else out. We'll have to rely on food for now. We've got a potential fight ahead of us, so let's make sure everyone's ready. Good luck.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Okay, it looks like another medium difficulty battle, but we've got the advantage of surprise. Let's start by focusing fire on that caster.
Obliterated.
Very nice. I wonder if being insane has somehow made Luzon more effective. Let's pull the Bone Arbalist up front.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Luzon is still taking a bit of a beating, but I think we've got things under control. We'll delay until Purge can toss out a heal. Well, I guess that's better than nothing. Of course, now Alistair's taking a beating. Alright, we'll just finish the fight.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
At this point, I think we'll just eat some food and dump the firewood. It's a risk, of course, but everything's a risk in Darkest Dungeon. If things start going too badly, then we'll abandon the quest. If I recall correctly, that armor should grant a defensive bonus. Since Luzon is our most vulnerable party member at the moment, we'll have him use it. Whoops. I guess we didn't actually need the holy water for that. There we go. That should hopefully be enough to keep Luzon alive. Nice. I'm not actually sure what that did. Ah, and there's a confessional ahead. It's a shame I wasted our last holy water. Luzon really could have used that. Not what I was going for, but better than nothing.
The light. The promise of safety.
I'd love to take those journal pages, but we've still got 4 rooms ahead of us. I guess I can't really justify dumping useful equipment to make room for lore objects. Hey, and there's relic number 2. There's a relatively tough pod guarding it, but with surprise, we should be able to take these guys out pretty easily. We'll focus on taking out the courtier first.
A singular strike.
Nice. Now we'll just start whittling down the rest of these guys. Oof. And there's another crit on Luzon. That guy just can't catch a break. And now Alistair is stunned. We might actually be in trouble here. Whoa, what? Wait. What? Oh, he must have used his healing move. Well, that certainly makes the rest of this fight much easier. Okay, now Luzon is tanking hits like a champ. That actually gives us a bit more time to toss out some healing spells. Of course, we'll try not to push our luck too much. Nice heal. I think we're all in pretty good shape. Let's finish this.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
At this point, we just need one more relic, so I think it's time to start taking some chances. We'll max our torchlight and dump our final torch to make room for treasure.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Oh, hold on a second. I forgot to actually pick up the relic. That's an important step. Of course, now we have to clear another space in our inventory. I could dump one of the journal pages, but I do like holding on to those. I could dump some treasure, but I'd rather hold on to that as well. Okay, we'll dump that eye patch. It's not really a good trinket, and we don't have a man-at-arms anyway. Yeah, I think we can live without that. Let's go find that last relic. There goes the last of our food. We're definitely cutting it pretty close here.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles. Paid for in blood.
Purge's lucky streak continues, but like I said before, we definitely need to cure that quirk. Man, Purge is just going crazy. He's starting to jump on every curio we come across. Looks like a tough bandit fight, but we're geared for bandits. Let's start tossing out some bleeding damage. Okay, now Luzon is starting to stress everyone out. That's a bit more along the lines of what I expect from an affliction.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Nice. Purge is doing a good job of keeping us topped off. And Alistair is doing a great job of tearing people apart.
Soothed. Sedated.
Alright, the bloodletter will bleed out on his next action. There's not much point in having Alistair finish off the bloodletter. Then we'd just end up with a giant corpse in our way. I guess we'll have him heal himself instead. Oh, but I didn't set him with all the right abilities. I guess we'll just use Solemnity.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Well, Luzon's going even crazier.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
That last hit on Purge was unfortunate, but otherwise that wasn't too bad. We got a halfway decent trinket, too. We're all out of food at this point, so we'll just have to hope Purge can hold out for 2 more rooms. Brace yourselves, heroes. We've got another fight ahead of us. Looks like another moderate difficulty fight. Let's take out the courtier. Luzon just moved up front. I can live with that. Okay, Purge is in trouble. We don't have anyone in position to heal him, so we just need to take these guys out quick. Oh, thank goodness. Alistair soaked the hit. Alright, Purge. Pull yourself back together. There we go. That at least gets him out of the danger zone. Nicely done.
Ghoulish horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
I haven't really had much of a chance to play with the Crimson Court DLC, but I know that blood is important, so I don't want to leave this behind. I just need to decide what I'm willing to drop. Alright, let's move on. Oh, hey, there's the last relic. I didn't realize you could just find them sitting out in the hallway. That means we're pretty much done at this point. There are 2 more rooms ahead of us, and I would like to check them out, but now that we know the quest is complete, we can safely dump our last shovel. One more hall, one more room. Let's douse our torch.
Secrets and wonders can be found in the most tenebrous corners of this place.
We'll ignore the torch, of course, but we do want those deeds. I guess at this point we can dump the medicinal herbs. Those can be useful under certain circumstances. We're just so close to the end of the dungeon at this point, it's probably safe to assume we won't need them. Whoops, one more fight. And we're surprised. Okay, I think we can handle this. That's one down. Purge just needs to keep us topped off. Alistair needs to get back into attack position. Both Alistair and Purge are in rough shape. We need to end this as quickly as possible. Nice. That gets Alistair back on the map. Oh, come on. Okay, Purge is still in it. We're fine. Everything's fine. Nice. Okay. I was starting to get a little worried there, but now everything really is fine.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
We'll make a little room for the gold, and we'll hold on to our keys, just in case. Now let's check out that last room. This is it. What awaits us behind this final door? Absolutely nothing. Well, that's a bit anticlimactic, but hey, we all made it through alive.
The abbot will be grateful. The trappings of his faith have been restored.
Wow, Purge is compulsive and curious? We definitely need to get him into the sanitarium. Alright, good work everyone. We'll pick up here next time.